Now, before we get into this entertaining video, we would just like to remind you to like and subscribe.
Yes, please do like and subscribe.
Sunflowers!
Well, hello there, everyone, and how are you guys today? Well, I am here, like I said I was. I'm going to be doing a reading on Rosé. Yes, from Blackpink. If you have not seen it, I have done a K-pop news recap where I briefly talked about Rosé, but I'm here to really deep dive in and talk about Rosé because she has sparked dating rumors yet again with Eunwoo. And apparently, according to the cards, allegedly, you can look back at these readings to figure out what I'm talking about. However, it does seem like that Rosé has allegedly, apparently, everything I do say is allegedly, but it is also based off of news articles and what I get off the media. So I could too be wrong as well. But it seems like Rosé keeps sparking dating rumors with this same guy, and it is alleged that they've been in a secret dating relationship for the last 4 years. So, yeah, so I'm here to read again to see what's going on with Rosé. I follow Rosé's social media? I'm pretty sure I do. And if I do, she has definitely been quiet. I don't think I follow her Instagram. I don't follow the girls on Instagram, but if Rosé has a TikTok, she definitely has been quiet on TikTok. So with that being said, actually, I would just do a quick look and search on Rosé just to check in on her. Because we do think about Rosé and her health and to make sure that she is okay. So let me check on Rosé. Oh, well, I love how when I type Rosé, she's the first person that pops up. Okay. She still looks gorgeous. I mean, yeah. Oh, wait, hold up. I just saw the pictures. Okay. Wow. Well. All that to be said with Rosé and her health, she still pretty much looks the same. So her health is still always a concern over here. And that's why I don't try to read on her too much. Although it does seem like, allegedly, if she is supposedly in a relationship, I don't know. You didn't hear it from me. It just seems like, according to the cards, that the relationship might be stressing her out. So that, with all that to be said, why am I talking about Rosé today? And then why did I just say I just saw the pictures? Well, if you are not aware, Rosé has sparked dating rumors because she was just at a museum, a gallery. It was for an event, and her and Eunwoo were both at this same event and happened to pose eerily similar in front of the same picture. So, because of that, they have sparked dating rumors to see if they are in a relationship or not. Because two coincidences is, and that's only that I've known since I've started following this saga between Rosé and this mystery dating man that she has. But if there are more instances where they just happen to be posing in the same place, wearing eerily similar things, y'all tell me if that's a coincidence and if they are just happening to be at the same place at the same time, but not related to each other whatsoever. Okay. So with that being said, this is going to represent our Rosé. I was a little bit biased and I did pick the card that had a rose on it. And so therefore the connected card to that is this man, and this will represent Eunwoo. But first, we'll sit him right here. I'll shuffle the cards so that way we can see what's going on with Rosé and her current life and see how okay, I'm going to call him Eunwoo. See how Eunwoo is doing in her life and how he fits in. So that being said, let's shuffle up the cards. Let's shuffy. Okay. Okay. Now, last time I did this, I realized I probably counted out way too many cards, so this time I'm going to put out the right number. Actually, I will put out the same number of cards I did last time. I actually like that. So, uh-huh. Okay. It's so little cards. It's no point in even trying this. Okay. Just one more time. And then, okay. I tried. Y'all saw that. All right. You see I'm trying to shuffle these cards up. Okay. Okay. Cards shuffled up. Now let's see how they play out and see what's going on with Rosé's life. Oh, there he is. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Perfect. Yes, I like this better. Okay. I'll put this. This represents the block card, and this represents the outcome card, but I have no idea what it is. So that's why it's going to stay down for the both of us. So what I see currently right now with what's going on with Rosé, how do I see... Well, first off, I can definitely say there does apparently seem like there is an imbalance between Rosé and Eunwoo, because this represents her, and how he relates to her is not directly above her, which is a good thing, but he's still above her and on a diagonal. So therefore, he does have some effect on her life. It may not be a direct effect, but he is directly influencing her life, and there is some imbalance between their relationship, like a power struggle, maybe the best way I could say it. And because of that, you know what, the best I can say is that the reason why there is an imbalance is because they're not seeing eye to eye. Okay, so I'm going to put them on the same level with each other. They're on the same level, and you see they both are, yes, looking in the same direction, but that doesn't mean they are seeing eye to eye. It's more like she's looking at the back of his head while he's looking at something else. So, if they were placed, how would I make these two cards look at each other technically? It's actually a good question. These cards, I just found a defect in these cards actually, because in these cards they are supposed to be able to face each other, but no matter which way I arrange them, they are not going to face each other. So because of that, I can only read it in that sense, in the fact that they aren't being able to see eye to eye to each other, and that only has to deal with the fact that they aren't on the same level or on the same floor with each other. They're like on different pages. They're within the same book, like they understand each other, but they're on two different chapters, I'll say, because he's looking at something that she's looking at something that he's already looked at, and he's looking forward and beyond, past her. Not saying that he's looking like past her literally, but looking past her in the sense of the fact that they aren't being able to see eye to eye, meet to eye to eye, maybe be able to compromise, maybe be able to communicate, maybe be able to listen to each other. Those would all be things that they struggle with. And because of that, and maybe that's because maybe he doesn't want to listen to her. She wants to come to him and have conversations with him. And maybe he just doesn't want to have those conversations. Could be he doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to deal with it, doesn't want to acknowledge it. Maybe he does, but he just doesn't change anything. He just like listens, but doesn't respond in that sense. So because of that, that can put some influence in her life. Wow. When I went to go down and look to see what could this possible card be, what could this card be on how he affects her life and influences her, and how he plays a part in her life, the false card showed up. The false person, the deceiver, the person that should not be trusted. Somebody, thankfully, well, I mean, they are dating, so I can't say that he isn't within her inner circle, but maybe it could be due to their schedules that they aren't always able to meet up and have time with each other. And that does seem to be a common theme whenever I do happen to read on their relationship. And that could also be another reason why he has impacted her life. So maybe as a false person can't be good either way, whether the false person is making you whether this false person causes you to change your character and come outside of yourself because you're dealing with something that is not authentic. So therefore you're going to also therefore be inauthentic with your expression as well, match their energy. You're going to like lower or lower your vibration in that sense. So because of that, that could be what that could be their problem, is that maybe Rosé is, it's a high conversation here in America. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it, especially here on YouTube, but maybe Rosé is that high functioning woman, which basically means somebody of substance. Well, I mean, she's struggling with her health, but just in the sense, so she can't, in that sense, she can't be high value, high functioning, but just in the sense of where she was before she had met him, she was high functioning. She was a part of a very successful girl group. She was thriving. She was living. She was focused on her music career, still focused on her music career, but we still have yet to hear music be released. And Lisa's really the only one out of Blackpink that has yet to release music. So I don't know what the rest of these Blackpink members are doing. But y'all need to play catch up because it's almost 2025 here. So y'all about to come back as Blackpink. So I'm waiting for you guys to release your music. But no pressure. And I understand that Rosé can sometimes also put pressure on herself to try to perform and do the best. And also, just because of that, if she does have somebody in her life who maybe does not influence her properly, maybe he says something that could be snarky or snooty, or maybe not even, maybe passive aggressive, and because of that, that affects her because she really values what he has to say. She looks up to what he has to say. She respects his opinion. As a partner, she respects and wants to hear his voice, and therefore, because whatever he says, it is going to somehow going to affect Rosé and what she does. So maybe if something doesn't sound right, maybe she'll run it by him. Maybe he'll be like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. I'm not sure if your fans are going to like that. I'm not sure that's going to be a hit," or something like that. Maybe she might go back and critique it, redo it, and because of that, that could also be another problem on trying to release music as well, and also putting too much pressure on yourself by reworking and doing things. Now, what her current problem is at this very moment is time. Now, I'm not sure if that means that time is against her or she has time going for her, and maybe it's only in time she'll be able to move on to something that she's currently in. Who knows? Maybe what this could be is maybe they were going through a breakup or a tumultuous period, or they are going to be going through, or maybe they could be at this very moment. Because what I see is in this section, this section represents her past, but her past is currently affecting her present, and her present is ultimately going to impact her future decisions. So therefore, what happened in the past or what is happening right now, it's all, or what could be even happening in the future, but we'll see how it all fits in the story. It definitely does seem that it could be coming, their relationship could be coming to an end, maybe, especially because we just recently saw, I think that photo was like 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, they could be in the process of going through a breakup and it's not public yet, and that was one of like their last posts that they did, or maybe that was just like the night that just like ended it all, and it would just seem weird to like delete your picture afterwards, because then that's really going to spark controversy with the audience, especially because people look at things super critically. And I'm not even sure she's following him on social media, and if he is, it would definitely be very awkward to unfollow him too afterwards. So because of that, we have right underneath him is this coffin card, which symbolizes a death, which symbolizes the ending of something. And maybe because this card is masculine and it just happens to be underneath him, and it also happens to be underneath the coffin, maybe if we, now that we understand that this all has to deal with him and how this affects Rosé in her current predicament or situation going on in her life, his thoughts could be weighed down by their relationship. Maybe he isn't, maybe Rosé wants to take the relationship to, maybe Rosé wants to take, who knows? Maybe Rosé, I hope you guys can see this card. Maybe, yes, maybe Rosé wanted to take this relationship to a new level because maybe she wants something more in the, maybe wants something more in the relationship, something more that she could commit to, something that she could get out of the relationship, or just show the form of the kind of love that they have for each other, or that she could have for him. And maybe he doesn't reciprocate those feelings because remember, he is that false person. But I don't want to say maybe Rosé wants to try to trap him with a baby. That's so drastic and American thinking. I mean, who knows? That's just something that's just, I hear happen quite often here in the States. So maybe that's what Rosé might be trying to do. Maybe she sees that the relationship is getting ready to end. Maybe she sees that he could be changing his mind, or maybe not wanting to be around her as much, or maybe he doesn't like the things that she does, or maybe maybe he wants her to leave her career and she doesn't want to leave her career. So because of that, I mean, it will be kind of hard to have a career and a baby at the same time. So it will be kind of counterintuitive to say you don't want to leave your career, but then you're going to try to have a baby to keep him. But then that would also make you lose your career all at the same time. But all that to be said, maybe he could bring something youthful. I don't know how youthful he could be making her feel, because we have seen some drastic weight loss, but it could be due to other things, allegedly, supposedly. We're not really sure. But all that to be said, Rosé is seeing the death of their relationship. Maybe she's starting to see the reality of how things really are between the two of them, and maybe it's not as salvageable, or maybe it's not something that he particularly wants to rekindle. Maybe he's the one that is getting tired of the relationship. Like I said earlier, and I said that maybe I didn't mean it literally, but maybe who it could have been meant literally, that he's looking past her and looking at other women, looking outside of their relationship, not focusing on her. And that could just also be due to time and how they're that could also be due to time and how their schedules interact with each other, that they just don't have the time with each other. So honestly, if that's the case, Rosé, just really let this relationship go. If you guys do not have that time to foster a relationship, there really isn't a relationship there anyway. But I understand that there might be some connection that you have with him, that when you are around him or you talk to him, he just feels something within you that you feel could be dead inside of you, maybe. And he brings that part or side of her alive. And because of that, she doesn't want to let that go in that sense. So because of that, maybe she could be trying to fight for a relationship that is already not on its best wing and prayer right now. But all that to be said is that his thoughts, how he feels about her, is clouding her thoughts, how he feels about her. Maybe she can see, she can feel the vibe is changing between them, and the way that they interact between, maybe the interactions that they have with each other could be changing, even though, like I said, they don't have the time to hang out with each other. But when they do get the times to hang out with each other, it's like that same vibe, same energy. But like when you say that you when you really know your partner and something about them switches up, you're able to pick up on that, even though they aren't being so honest with you. This false person right here, he may not be honest with her, but she could be picking up on those energies. She could be intuitive and sense the energy that he's not cognitive, that he is putting out into the earth. And so, because of that, maybe she could be clouded by what she wants to do. Maybe she's allowing how he's feeling to influence what she chooses to do. Maybe she could say something being like, yeah, I'm going to be going to this event, and there's going to be this person there, and there's going to be that person there. And then he could say something like, okay. And then maybe she'd be like, you know what? Maybe I could just sit with somebody else. Maybe not that person. I don't have to sit with them. It could be like something like as simple as that. Could be her compromising, sacrificing, giving up a little bit of herself in order to please him or try to accommodate, because she doesn't want to lose the relationship. And what I see right here is what she's not looking at, but what is in her future is the journey card, which earlier I had said that in order for, she's so focused on looking at something that's currently dying and transforming that she doesn't see that she's getting ready to go through I guess really in a transformative period, and whatever this really, it's the relationship that's getting ready to come to an end. It's getting ready to transform her, put her on a journey, maybe really focus on herself and become really into that self-care, healthcare, meditation, journey that she isn't quite aware that she's about to be put on, or maybe that she is putting herself on subconsciously by cutting him off. Maybe he doesn't cut her off. Maybe she cuts him off. Or maybe she's doing things to try to cut him off without, and she doesn't, maybe she's doing it subconsciously and isn't aware that she's doing it. But how maybe sometimes when you're not you could be mad at your partner, or maybe you just don't want to be with them, or maybe you're just not vibing with them that day. So maybe you just might do something that just might irk them a little bit, or maybe you just do something for yourself because you're being selfish, but you're really not being selfish in that sense. And maybe your partner just will take it the wrong way because you know how they feel about it, but also at the same time you got to care and love for yourself and put yourself first. And maybe they just don't like that you're putting yourself first kind of situation. That's what Rosé could be doing. So I could definitely see why I am seeing some confusion. Everything seems to be literally, I'm not even going to say up in the air, but all up in the thoughts. It's all mental. I think even Lady Crone, when she had done a reading or was on a reading with me one day, she said that he gets all up in her mental, I think. Do not quote me. I could be wrong. I would have to really look back at all my Rosé readings. But we have, that would understand why I'm getting this confusion of who's. Their energy is all mixed and mumbled up together. Because we have the clouds here. We have thoughts. We have the false person. A card which I have yet to talk about. And then we have the coffin. They're not really good cards. And then we have the journey, it's a good card. Journey is a very good card because you're going on somewhere and you're going to end up on a final destination. You're going to go from point A to point B. So there is movement, there is travel, there's no stagnation, there's no being stuck in this energy. The Rosé is going to be able to get out of this energy, move to a different environment, or create a different environment or a different reality. Something where all this isn't around her and mucking up her energy and her creativity, because it's really hard to try to be creative and be positive and do what you love when there's so much negativity, oppression, what is it, just bad thoughts just being all around you. You can't really grow. It's like trying to grow a plant in the dark without no nutrients or water. It's like barren. It's hard to try to grow anything in a desert. That's kind of like that's the drasticness of the energy. It's like Rosé's energy is being sucked up. It's like he's an energy vampire, allegedly. I'm not sure if they are in a relationship, but if they are, he's definitely got some type of claw or all up in her head. She did allow, but she has to unallow it now. And she does have the power to do that. And maybe she is using the power within her to do that and is not aware that she might be making these small little things. And this just doesn't happen overnight. It takes maybe weeks, months, maybe even a year, or maybe even years, depending how long they've been tangled up with each other, to she's slowly pulling the band-aid back. She's not like she's yanking and ripping it off. She's just like slowly detaching herself. And when it's like that, you slowly mold into this person that by the end of it, you're just like, when did I transform and become this person? And that's all going to happen within time. So let's find out what this end card is. This end card symbolizes her outcome and also her outcome with Eunwoo, and see if this will determine if they will be in a relationship in the future. If this does symbolize that this is a breakup and they aren't going to be in a relationship in the future. So let's see what's going on between them. Okay, we're both going to see it together. The Moon card. Wow. Very fitting. The moon symbolizes literally everything we're talking about. It's so emotional. It's like the high priestess in tarot. It's so like soul inward. That, like I said, that she was going to have to that she was going to come out as a different person and metamorph and transform into this person that was always in her, but maybe she didn't realize it until she got into this relationship. And then she was able to go through the cycles, go through the phases, go through the emotions, and maybe, like I said, ripping the Band-Aid off very slowly instead of going cold turkey could also be a process in and of itself on going through the emotions of the heartache, the losing the weight, the getting distracted, the having the roadblocks, the mental blocks, the creative blocks, the active blocks, wanting to be proactive. You get blocked in all of that because something in you is just not whole or feel complete, but that's okay. It's just a season. But once you get past that, or once she gets past that, also universal message to anybody that could relate to Rosé's current relationship, allegedly, that she could allegedly be in. But if you could relate or identify, this is some advice, or maybe you could be able to get something out of this, or maybe even see a different perspective through these cards as well. Like we do over here, we do read on these people's souls and their inner beings and what's really going in and on within them. Because that ultimately, like I say in astrology, what's going on the inside has to manifest physically into physical reality. And that's also what the moon is also about, bringing your inner reality into the physical reality. It's all about how you perceive, how you see things, how you see and perceive and think of things. That's your Mercury, just throwing in some astrology in there. Is all is going to determine then how you maneuver and interact with the world around you. Like if you think the world is out to get you, you're going to play the poor me role. But if you think the world is your oyster, you're going to play the main character. So you see what I mean here. If you so Rosé could be going through a tough patch in her life, and whatever relationship she currently was in, her rose colored glasses got tinted and her reality got changed and morphed into whatever his reality and energy was. And now to change the tint on those rose tinted glasses, or what was rose tinted, or maybe even try to get them back to rose tinted, clean up the lenses, to clean up the lenses, get all the smudges, the dirts, the cloudiness out the way and see reality back as it should be. So all that to be said is, it seems like our girl Rosé is going to be good, both physically, mentally, spiritually. Did I say physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and I probably already said physically. So all of those, it does sound like she's going to pull through, and it does seem that even though it seems like they have sparked dating rumors again, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they will spark dating rumors again in the future, and these cards won't hold true in the fact that they are breaking up. But who knows? Maybe it takes, like I said, an evolution and a process, and maybe this is just the start of the process. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll hear that they broke up. Or maybe it's all dating rumors. Who knows? Or maybe something might come out. Oh, yeah, the one card that I talked about, literally never touched on, was about poverty. Not literally, but poverty, meaning the sense of lacking, not feeling enthused, feeling lackluster, not maybe feeling like poor me, and maybe not feeling like what you do is ever good enough. So therefore you're always trying to achieve and strive for more than what you can give and more than what you have. So therefore you yourself, Rosé herself physically makes herself lack in energy because she gives so much of herself than she can, because she has so much going on her plate, that she puts too much on her plate, that it's literally overflowing, that you end up with way less on your plate than what you started with. And that's how Rosé ends up at the very end, according to the way the card sounds. And that's just like the moon. You start off with a new moon, a clean plate. You become with the full moon. And then after the full moon, once it gets big, it has to get small again. And that's the cycle and the phases that Rosé goes through. Overexerting herself, putting too much of herself out there. And because of that, she doesn't reserve enough energy for herself and for her needs, wants, and desires. And so because of that, she herself, according to the cards, allegedly lacks, just her being just lacks because she puts too much of her energy elsewhere. Like if you think about it with money, if you could be working, yes, but if you're paying for way more bills than what you're working to make a month, then really you're in debt. And how can you be happy? Because you're literally working to grind now at this point. You're not just working for luxury. You're like working to like work for your life at this point. And therefore you never have time for yourself to enjoy luxuries of going to the movies, having a nice dinner. You don't get to enjoy your money because your money's gone before you can even enjoy it. So that's the kind of situation that Rosé's energy is. Not talking about that's how her current money situation is, but just how she is in the spiritual or just inwardly in herself, if you know what that means. Like when you're okay, the best way, here's another example to try to say. If you're always that friend that helps and it's like that shoulder to cry on, you're like everybody's therapist, but the therapist needs a therapist. And if the therapist doesn't have a therapist, then how does the therapist get themselves replenished if nobody else wants to hear them or doesn't have anybody to hear them out? And because of that, they will start lacking, will start acting a little bit weird because their energy is just too much. If you think about it, it's like too much energy and too much light, and then it just like pops. Eventually that energy has to escape somewhere, or it becomes a symptom, and then you have physical health conditions. That could be another way the energy will reroute itself. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed that. I talked about astrology. I talked about the esoteric. I talked about the spirit. Did I say I talked about astrology? Oh, and I also went into a little bit of medical astrology too. Whew. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this reading on Rosé. Not that Rosé's situation was good to read on, but just the fact that I think this was a really good reading, a really informative reading. I got to apply everything that I study. So because of that, I definitely felt like I really was able to give a good in-depth reading and understand what was really going on with Rosé, especially with her going on with this relationship allegedly. So with that being said, I surely hope you guys enjoyed this reading about Rosé. And please, if you haven't checked it out, check out my K-pop news recap and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this reading. Please, let's get a chat conversation in the comments about Rosé and Eunwoo and see if they are in a relationship and how you guys feel about him. And with that being said, please subscribe if you have yet to subscribe. It really helps the channel, and give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. It will really help the channel. And please share us with anybody that likes Rosé or Blackpink or might even know Eunwoo. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you guys in the next video. Sunflowers!